Hi! Welcome everyone to this video. I hope you're having a very good day. So, today I shall be talking to you about writing. I'm going to give you some tips that helped me, but I just want you to keep in mind that these don't necessarily be the right tips for you, as everyone has a different experience. So, number one, keep an open mind. I think this is important for everyone because, for example, the way I imagined my story at the very beginning versus how I'm writing it now, I can actually make two different books and no one would even think they're ever related. Your story will change over time. It barely ever stays the exact way you imagined it before. The idea may still be there, but like different contexts and other things. So it's important to keep an open mind and be subject to change because it will change. Number two, use Google Docs. Now, Google Docs is like Microsoft Word, only you have a Google account on it and you can access it in any device that you own or you just log into. Now, if you can set the document in offline version, so whenever you don't have internet, you can still edit it, which is real good. I mean, you can go anywhere and you still can write your story. I mean, I do that whenever for example, yesterday when my mother was shopping and I was waiting for her, just went in and actually managed to write 100 words in the meantime. So it's really good to have a Google Docs. Number three, prepare an outline. An outline is like the skeletal structure of the story, so it's important to have one in mind before you start writing. So I use skeletal references to make it more understandable. So the most important plot points would be like the spine and the skull. They are the most important bones of the body because they are most important. They protect the most important parts of the body. The next most important thing is the parts that lead to the most important things, like semi-major plot points. And then between them you can write other parts of the story that will be relevant to it, but they're not exactly that important. However, as always, they still have to be relevant. Number four. For me, I think it was important to expand vocabulary. Like I used Google Word synonym. Because if you repeat a word a certain amount of times, it becomes boring and almost repetitive. Like for example, instead of he said, she said, that guy said, that girl said, he exclaimed, he yelled, he expressed, she sobbed, she wept, she giggled, whatever. It's important to have an expanded vocabulary because you also be teaching the reader some new words, but as well make the story less repetitive and less annoying and better to read. So number five is make your characters relatable. I mean, this can be skipped if you're writing a children's story because they don't have to exactly be the most realistic of characters, but for example, if you're not writing a children's story, it should be important. For example, don't write a character without flaws. That wouldn't be either realistic or likable. I mean, for example, you've seen characters that they always do anything right. They never get into fights. They never do something bad. They're always, but this is not their way. I know how you feel, but it's not the right way to deal about. That would never be realistic. They're almost really annoying to even hear. Doing the wrong thing once in a while is not that bad because you learn from it and you'll actually have realistic character because anyone can do one bad thing sometime in their life. No one's perfect. This would also go for the villain on the story, or the the bad character of your story if you have one. Like, the reason why they're bad, that has to be, you can almost make it relatable as well. I mean, not just, oh, I had a bad childhood, so now I want to take over the world. Like, that's not realistic. I mean, anyone can have a bad experience in childhood and still be out fine. A good example of what I'm talking about is from Legend of Korra, if any of you have seen it. For example, the villains in each of the seasons has a reason, and the way they tell the reason, you kind of actually agree with them and say, but how can they do this without taking over the world? I can agree with them, but can they do it the right way? Or you don't even know who you're rooting for anymore. That's the kind of villain you should be able to write. Now I'm struggling with this as well for my story, and I still have yet to introduce the villain, so I have time to think about it. But it's good to start brainstorming whenever you can. Also, number 6. I think it's important for you to find editors and book cover artists early on when you're writing, as well as advertising, like for me, or getting an audience. For example, me, I'm doing it right now with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm getting a larger audience over time, so by the time I release my book, I would already have a sufficient amount of people who know about it. And also, it's important to get like editors and book cover artists, as I said, because I mean, if you want it for a specific date, it's obviously important, but if you don't, it's not. For example, if you ask them now, they would probably, you have to wait a while until it's your turn because they have other people before you. They're not just available exactly as you ask them. For example, I found some book cover artists that already booked until April of next year. Like, I would have to wait a year until, obviously I'm not done, but I'm already researching for it. Like, even you have time to find the right person for you, the right kind of artist. It's real helpful. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I helped you and given you the advice that you needed. I suggest you should also watch other author videos, because everyone has different advice. Probably mentioned some points I already did and some that I didn't. Don't think of other authors as your competition. Think of them as your friends. Like, they're the ones that can help you be a better author because they already are authors. I mean, there's no exact competition. Like, you can there's no limit amount of authors in the world. They're not taking your spot. It's like, think of them as the person who are doing this exact same project as you, and you're helping each other. It's not like you're competing for a higher position and they're taking your spot. So as I said, thank you for watching this video, and in the next video I shall finally reveal what my story is going to be about. I know probably some of you are still wondering. I never mentioned it before, so I think it's time that I revealed it. Bye.